All right, what's up, guys? This is Daniel with Midnight Movie Trash Talk, and I am here with,
Stacy, Dimple's Adventures.
and we are talking our well overdue end of year review for 2025. Um, Let me just start out saying that 2025 was an amazing year. It was full of some great moments, some unforgettable memories, and uh, uh, and some bucket list interviews. And what can I say? Um, I guess we can start out with the last two events we did, which were put on by Kings of Horror. We did the Goosebumps reunion. I forgot what they called it. Uh,
I was like, I'm
with
gonna have to look it up, but yeah, I think it's like I know it's the Goosebumps, and then it was.
The Kings was it the Kings of Horror Holiday Expo.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go, Holiday Expo.
Yeah, it was great to see the cast from of Goosebumps. Catherine Long, Bill, not it's not Bill, is it? Ben, Ben
Yeah,
Bladen, and Amos Crawley,
yes.
which I had the opportunity to talk with them earlier in the year at Houston Horror Film Fest. So it was cool to talk with them towards the end of the year, being that it was the 30th anniversary of Goosebumps, and get their take on the year of events that they had. Uh, what was your take on that event?
It was fun. It was good. Almost actually remembered us, which I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was you know uh
Just to have a celebrity, even though we talked to him in Houston, which was in August,
yes.
and then we talked to him in November, right? I think.
Yeah, end of
Yeah.
November.
So even though it was just a few months, but it's still amazing that he remembered us.
Yeah, no doubt. And Catherine did also, after talking with her for a bit, towards the end,
Oh, okay.
she after the interview, she was like, "Yeah, I remember talking with you at Houston and whatnot."
Oh, that
And
is right. I remember hearing that.
you know, which was cool because those are Tony's clients, so it was cool to catch up with Tony also and Justin uh,
Yes.
after Houston, and you know, 2026, this year's Houston is lining up to be a banger.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Um, yeah, and it was cool to meet that one guy that came up to us.
Oh yes, your fan. And be like, oh my God, I saw y'all shirts. I had to come downstairs. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, it was like totally caught off guard. Like, it's like cool. People actually do watch. That's awesome. You know, I do this for fun. I do this for the love of horror. It's not anything that I'm trying to be anything other than just a fan. But it was cool.
Yes.
He knew the videos and whatnot, which was cool. Um, but yeah, overall that was it was kind of a chill event.
Yeah, that one actually was a really good event. Um, the walking out, excuse me, stupid allergies in Texas.
Yeah, yeah.
um, Seeing isn't that the one, or was it was it the Goosebumps event, or was it the expo, the Holiday Expo, where you got the huge banner?
No, that was a holiday expo.
Okay, but even then, just walking around and seeing the vendors was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Always great vendors. Um, the holiday expo was a good one too. Uh, that was that was a fun one. That was with
It was.
John Abraham as well as uh Leonora Selfo.
Yes.
Who else was there?
The two from Five Nights at Freddy.
Yes. I'm looking up the thing because there's been so many. I know Cat was one of them.
Yes. Can't. My mind's drawing a blank with names.
Yeah.
Uh, the dude
David.
from Scream.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Jeff and Kevin Foster, the stunt double for Freddie Fazbear,
Yes.
um, as well.
I the kid as well from
Wet,
Terrifier.
yeah, Wesley,
Yes, but we didn't get to talk to him, but we did see him there.
Marley also was there.
Hmm.
David Naughton. Uh, yeah, that was a cool one. I was really looking forward to talking to John, and got a great interview with John. Super down to earth, super cool. Uh,
Yes.
you know, the two cast members from Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, uh, they got to hear my story with Ash and my nephew,
I
and
was like, our nephew.
yeah, it's a funny one, and the reactions going back and watching the video. Both of them had that like holy shit that
Shit.
happened type.
Yes, like
Yeah, for
I
for those
know.
that go ahead.
I just think it's funny because of course I'm behind the camera and I'm watching it and I'm trying so hard not to laugh so loud because it is so funny.
Yep. Yeah, and for those that haven't seen the interview, my nephew got a nosebleed, explaining to me what Five Nights at Freddy was, because he said Freddy, and I was like Freddy Krueger. He's like, no, Freddy Fazbear. I was like, my exact words were like, who the fuck is Freddy Fazbear? He was like, oh, and then he went into the whole detail, the whole lore of the video game, and yeah, to the point he gave himself a nosebleed. And then, the extended part of that story was when we crossed the back door, um, he didn't want to cross it because he swore that they were all inside the little storage shed looking at him. So I had to stand in front of the door as he walked by going towards my room to get away from the area because he was so freaked out while his nose is bleeding. Yeah, fun. Awesome memories. Awesome memories.
I was like, sorry, nephew.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was a fun one. Um, a couple of them weren't doing interviews due to contracts and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's just part of the game.
Yep.
But I mean, that was a good one to end the year off with. Um, it was great to see Leonore again. Again, we saw her back in August.
Yes.
But yeah, 2025. Um,
2025 was a good year. I know at the beginning of the year we did a few events, not too many,
mhm.
but kicked it off for us, like always, is Houston.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Houston Horror Film Fest always kicks it off for us. We're always busy. Um, it's just amazing, to be honest. Every year these cons get better.
I must have turned some setting on where
I
it's
think
like
it
tracking
did.
or something because the
Yeah.
camera keeps moving and shit, and it's freaking me out. But actually,
You're not.
actually, what did we did the inaugural Big Texas Terror before Houston,
Yes, we did.
and
But
didn't we do
there was
something
like,
else?
I think we did one or two prior, but it was a huge gap
Hmm.
because it was in March. Big Texas
No,
Terror, or no.
no, that was Fourth of July weekend.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
something, I think something, we did one in March. I think it was, I don't remember.
Yeah, we did we did it was a Retro City one that we
Okay.
did.
We've done so many last year that I cannot remember all the names, but I kind of remember like the months.
Mhm.
But the only reason I say that Houston kicks it off for us is because we are so busy after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nonstop grind. And this year it's kicking off even earlier in March because Big Texas Terror is going to be in March, as well as the inaugural Mockingbird Lane and what is it? Cult Classic, which I need to reach out to them because I
Okay.
would I would like to do. cult classic, at
Cult
least
classic is in Bastrop.
Bastrop. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Bastrop. The other two are here in town. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, Big Tex Terror was a fun one. Um,
It was.
Unfortunately, there was protests and stuff going on that same weekend, which I kind of feel that kind of deterred people from going downtown. Um, but yeah, for its first year, I they had a great lineup.
And I think it was Father's Day weekend as well.
Was
Big
it?
Tex. I think it was because um I tell my dad Happy Father's Day. Yeah, I think it was Father's Day weekend because it was in June. And I remember Larry had to work. So I'm like, I'll be at a Comic Con.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it was. I'm trying to see the date. I'm looking at the Instagram. So bad with dates. But that one was cool, man. Really enjoyed that one because I got to knock out a bucket list with Dana DeLorenzo from Ash versus Evil Dead. Got to talk with her. Huge fan of the show, as well
Yeah,
as
July 15th. Sorry.
the new Michael Myers, James Jude Courtney. Super awesome guy. I have crossed paths with him, but just not in the form of where I was able to get an interview because his lines were always so long. And this one I was able to, and that was one of my favorite interviews of that weekend. Uh, Super cool. You know, his way of preparing for the character was just like, he just locked in one form, and he's like, that's what I'm gonna do, and that's how he did it. Um, also talking again with Billy Worth, from Lost Boys and Jameson Newlander. Uh, it was an honor
I
to talk with Billy again.
I would say my favorite thing from that weekend, Big Tex Terror, was even though I didn't help you with that interview with Billy, but the next day when I went, Billy telling Billy telling you, "Hey man, good seeing you again." That he remembered you from the day prior, and which I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty surreal. We were just sitting there waiting for James G. Courtney's interview,
Yeah,
and he came out, I guess, from the green room, and he was just like, he asked about how the interview came out, and his words were, I don't do these a lot, but since I had done an interview with him at the Kings of Horror Summer of Santa Clara event, uh, 2023.
yes, I believe so.
And he brought up Body Snatchers, and I got the movie and I watched it because I had been years since I'd seen it, and that's one of his uh, I guess favorite films that he's done, and you know he was so open about talking with it, and when he said, he goes, yeah, especially since you wanted to talk my favorite film, you know I was like, you know, I was like, cool, man. It was cool for him to come up and talk with us and compliment the interview. And I was like, if you weren't there, nobody would believe me. So I was like,
Yep,
first thing I told you, I was like, yeah, I'm glad you're here because you're a witness, you know.
yep.
But and then it was also great to see Jameson again. Um, that was right off the bat. He as soon as he saw me, he was like, "Hey, I keep in touch with him on Instagram occasionally, through posts and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it was cool to talk with him. And another one too was Andrew D Divoff from Wishmaster,
Ah,
and one of my personal favorite non-horror films is Toy Soldiers. So I didn't think I was gonna get an interview with him, but nah, he was so down to earth, so chill, so cool.
mhm.
Uh, you know, happy to talk about Wishmaster and Toy Soldiers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this upcoming one in March. See what other guests they have lined up. Um, and that one took us right into Houston Horror Film Fest, which, is I call that my Super Bowl uh of events and whatnot. Tony, Scott, Justin, Troy, they all put on an amazing
Amazing. Everybody who even helps, who works, volunteers, is just amazing. I just can't wait for this year's the lineup that they've already put out, which is like I think three different guests.
I think it's like six now because they put
Okay,
out three more.
okay, I haven't looked 'cause I know from yesterday because I haven't really been on Facebook today, but I know from yesterday it was three, so it could be six now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they put out Jenna Jameson,
okay, I didn't see that one.
uh Tina Romero, George Romero's daughter. Uh, the one that I'm looking forward to is a Rose McGowan.
I was about to say yeah, because she had to cancel last year.
Yep, and then prior to that they had Ethan Suplee from was it uh, that Earl show? What is it? My Name is Earl,
Oh yeah.
Jamie Presley, and Juliette Lewis, which, they're starting out with some heat there.
Oh yeah.
And, it's that's a fun show. I love the hotel vibe, being able to hang out and party with the horror fam. Uh, yeah, that one's always a
What
fun one.
Yeah, that one this year, we're going earlier this year.
Yep. One of the interviews I did there that, it's I'm a huge fan of the movie is My Bloody Valentine. And to interview try to find his like I said, I'm bad with names.
So am I. I was
Uh
like, I can tell you the actor name and what movie they played in, but the real name, I'm sorry. Not that I don't, it's not that I mean to.
yeah, Peter Cowper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was another great interview. He was really down to talk about how he landed the role and how of him being in a hockey player and how that the dexterity of him being able to flip the hockey stick, translated into him working the pickaxe, which was cool to hear. And, that guy, he's one of the if you know 80s horror slashers, he's one of the iconic uh killers, and then, to talk to three of the cast of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which Bill Moseley was a bucket list one for me.
Oh, yeah.
Huge fan of his work. Uh, Caroline Williams also, was amazing to sit and talk with. And, the way she wanted to do the interview is like, oh no, we're gonna put the chairs in front of the table, we're gonna sit here and talk, was awesome. And then you know, what you call it, Bill Johnson, Leatherface,
Yeah.
unfortunately we lost the other stunt guy, Bob Elmore, last year before the show. Um, which sucks. I was fortunate enough to meet him back in 2017. Um, but yeah, that, being able to talk with the scout again, was cool. There was a lot of interviews at that one,
I know it took you a while too to, because we got backlogged.
Yeah, I'm still backlogged, Yeah, truthfully, I'm still backlogged. But too, also that, I'm a huge Terrifier fan, so to be able to talk to Jenna Cannell and Catherine Corkin uh was amazing. And I messed up. I should have tried for Sarah and the other ones, but the lines were chaotic in that little room, and
Yes.
uh, I don't want to be that guy that just, if their lines, not full or there's downtime, that's when I usually try to go. But, you know, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll cross paths with them again. The other one too that was a really good interview was with Mike Vogel from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was a really good one. But yeah, you know, it's it's one of my favorite shows. I love doing all the shows, but Houston has a place in my heart as far as these horror shows and whatnot. Um, but yeah, after that, it was a bunch of Kings of Horror, not King, yeah, a few Kings of Horror
A
towards,
few Kings of Horror, and then
towards
we had Monster Con, and then we had We had a lot of Retro
Retro
City,
City. Yeah, a lot of
and
Retro
then
City.
we did two of my weekend event. We did two of theirs, right? Or three of
Yeah,
them.
two. Two. Yeah, we did
Yeah,
two.
we did
Um,
two.
one of the Retro City ones that I know it's a standout for you was the Crow tribute event.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, how was it for you, as a huge fan of that film to meet Tintin and
Sarah.
Sarah? How was that for you?
It was nerve-wracking. Like it was nerve-wracking knowing that they were gonna be there doing the interview, like behind the camera. I was like, okay, I heard them talk. I saw them. I'm like, okay, but going up and getting signatures is a whole different thing because that's your one-on-one with them.
Yeah,
And having AKA Sarah, which is sorry, I guess
I'll tell you the names.
the names. I think it's Rochelle.
Yeah, Rochelle.
Rochelle. Yes. I was like her opening. I have the video of her opening my VHS that was closed that you gifted me was amazing. And then her signing it and everything. I took, of course, got my photo, and then the same thing with Tintin was amazing. I got my photo with him because when I found out that they are unicorns in the con world, I had to meet them. I literally named my son Draven because of the movie because it showed me, I guess, in my perspective, it showed me like real love that if you love someone so much, they'll come back. Well, of course, I know it's like not in real life, but
Hmm.
in fantasy world, is that love is out there.
Yeah, no
And
doubt.
I just like it still blows my mind. Like, yes, I love Houston and everything, but this year I'm gonna say it was the Crow tribute. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I wish I could have met Brandon Lee, but unfortunately he did pass while making the movie. So
Hmm.
that is one person I will never get to meet, but it's okay because when I was a kid, my mom bought me a script with all their signatures, and Brandon Lee was on there.
Oh wow. Well, that's badass.
Yes, I have it. I think it's a living room in my little chest I have. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a fun one with oh, okay. Interviewing Lawrence. He's such a unicorn, rare guest, and just being able to sit and talk with him, and he had his stipulations for the interview, which is totally fine. Um, you know, he wanted to know what I was going to ask ahead of time, and which is totally fine. I totally understand where they come from with that, and to sit with him and hear about how he knew. he locked in that character that morning he woke up. You
Yep.
like he's like, I woke up as 1010, dressed like him, rode the subway
Yep.
like him.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
The
awesome.
voice and everything. I loved how he got comfortable
Hmm.
towards the end and gave us more of what he remembered. And it's been what, almost like 30 years?
30, yeah, 30 something years probably.
Yeah, 30 something years. Because yeah, 30 something years. And I
Yeah.
always said since I was little, since I first saw the movie, I'm gonna name my son Draven. And sure enough I did. Everybody thought I was crazy.
Then keeping with Retro City, the Night of the Living Dead, right? That one.
Yes.
Reunion, that was another cool one, being able to talk to Amelia. Um, yeah, Night of the Demons reunion.
Yeah. I was like, I know it's something.
To be able to talk to Amelia and Alvin, was cool because that's like one of the movies that I can pop in and just sit there and watch.
Yeah.
Um, that was another great one. Their the one of their last ones before the big show, with Kelly Maroney, uh, was awesome to see Kelly again.
Yes.
And she was another one that
Remembered you again.
remembered. Yep. It was uh it was so cool to be able to talk with her after the interview and get the whole insight on what happened with her lost um
Article.
yeah, her screen used cheerleading costume. Um to hear the whole story from her and from how she lost it to how she got it back was cool, and she's awesome, as well as the other guest from Jurassic Park, and he's been in a ton of films also.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna butcher his name. That's why I'm looking for it. See, that's why I always have them introduce themselves when interviews, because I know I'm gonna butcher their name.
And at least you remember too.
Yeah, Whit Herford. Uh, yeah, he was super cool too. And you know
Yeah.
what? His interview still hasn't came out. It's still. I think it's
What
edited. I
ooh,
think it's edited. I just have to do the thumbnail. Like I said, I'm so backlogged.
just
Uh,
let me know because since I know how to do the thumbnails now,
yeah. Yeah,
I could do it.
I'm gonna send you a list of all the ones that what you call it need to yeah, the
Yeah,
you
because
know
I don't delete photos, as you know.
mhm.
Even though I should, I don't delete.
Yeah, and then the one of the big things, which is such an honor to be a part of, is the horrific Women's Film Fest with
Oh
Cynthia
my
Bergen.
goodness.
This is the second year that I've had the privilege to cover it, and this year was amazing. You know,
Yeah.
uh, every year, there's been two of them. The first year was totally mind blowing with the quality of the films, and year two was the same. It was so many great uh, directors, actors I was able to talk to, which all those videos are edited. I just haven't posted them. But Cynthia has she has them, and she's done a kind of like a DVD of all the interviews.
Well, that's good. So at least she has them.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah, she
It's not
has
that we're
them.
not pushing them out. It's just we're you're only one person.
Yeah, and then also too, a lot. I like to push content out towards closer towards the next event.
Yeah.
Also, you know, so I'm gonna throw some of those out between here and there, and then a couple of them closer to the event. But yeah,
But because this year it's 2 days.
2 days. Yeah, Yeah, so that means more films, more people to talk to. And then, the kickoff event she did, the little
Meet and
mix,
greet.
yeah, meet and greet mixer thing. That was pretty fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really like that because it gave we were able to pick some of the brains with
The directors and
the directors and then the actor that we were able to speak with
hmm
because the actress in oh my god
rest stop.
there you go, that's what I was thinking about. I was gonna say rest and I was like, is it no, I was like it's not restroom, but I was like it's in the restroom. Yeah, she wasn't gonna be able to be there, but we were able to pick her brain the day before. So I just thought it was pretty awesome just to do the meet and greet and then talk to them after after the film and even before the film we saw.
hmm Yeah, the whole team there, all the judges and everything, they're doing an amazing job over there. And uh year three, like you said, it's gonna be 2 nights. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun
Oh,
one.
we're gonna be busy because I know Cynthia said she was gonna give us the film or something.
Yeah,
So we're able to do a sneak peek. So we're able to ask more questions, even though I know she's gonna have the red carpet again.
yep, yep. So that's gonna be cool to because it's kind of nerve-wracking going into these interviews blind. Like, tell me about your movie. I kind of feel like they like they look, not that they look at me or say anything, but like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
With their movies, which I don't. You know, because I hadn't had a chance to see them. But this year, we'll have a chance to sit and watch them, and that way we can ask specific questions about their film, and not
Yeah,
so
not
so
going to
cookie cutter.
yeah, not to go into too much detail
Mhm.
since uh well even though we can due to the fact that when the interviews will be released it'll be after.
Yep. Um. Yeah, that was MonsterCon also. That's just a staple here in town.
Yeah.
Uh, was cool. Talking to Miko Hughes again,
Yeah.
meeting Preston Corbin, also Brett, the big swag from the Kemper Kill of and Leatherface.
And then the Daredevil, not the Daredevil, Stunt Devil from Vampire Diaries. Sorry, that's what I remember.
Oh yeah, that's Preston. That's
Yeah.
Preston. And then it's always great to talk with Ed,
Yes.
the truck driver from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Um, I didn't get to talk to the people that were inside of Reaper's creation because that was their own thing, and I didn't want to overstep. Um, I
Yeah.
didn't know you know how that worked, and but maybe next year,
Right, this year.
this year I can get with them and see if it's available for interviews. Um,
I
all right,
think it was I know it was Alex and somebody else.
yeah, we got a minute, so we're probably gonna have to do part two. And we're back. All right, so you know, one of the things also that we managed to do quite a few of was our friend Scara the Damsel the Doom, her monthly what is it, Scare Theater? That's what it's called.
Yes.
Out there in Buda at what's the place called Docks?
Docs.
Yeah, awesome little drive in. Um, so yeah, we got to do
Super Poco Loco. Sorry.
quite a few of them. Yeah, we also had the Poco Loco Endeavor to one of the last ones that we went out there.
Yes.
Yeah, we were haunted by the convenience stores, Poco Loco. It was like an infinite loop, something out of the Twilight Zone. Yeah, if I highly suggest if you're in the Austin, San Antonio area, um, go check out one of her movie nights.
First
Uh,
Sunday.
first Sunday of each month. You know, it's not just a oh, you put on a movie. No, she goes and she does the whole 9 yards on the film. You know, from facts to
You're seen as a character.
yeah, yeah, exactly. She dresses up. Not only that, but she gives you behind the scenes takes on what transpired during filming. Like she really does her research, and her and Corey, you know, they put on a great movie night um, out in the out in Texas, out under the stars in Texas. Yeah, so
Yeah, fine.
if you have a chance to go check one out, I highly suggest you do. As well as they Docs hosts a lot of events there at the Speakeasy, Mama Merlot's. They got a food truck out there, concession stand. Uh,
Concession sounds good. Food truck smells really good. We just never
yep,
make it in time.
yep. Um, Merlot Speakeasy is a full bar and whatnot. So yeah, go check it out. Go support Scara, and yeah. Other than that, we were able to do a couple events at a new thing that popped up here in San Antonio, My Weekend World Events. Uh, First one we did was we went to go see the always awesome Tiffany Shepis,
Yes.
and yeah, it was I didn't get a chance to interview her. It was our first time going to one of those events, and I always I'm a person that always likes to talk ahead of time or get permission. I never assume anything. Um, you know, as far as interviews or stuff like that, I like to be professional, be proper. Talk with the event coordinator, owner, whatever. If it's possible. Um, you know, and so that's what And she was like, "Well, where's my interview?" Um, but yeah, and she did tell me to hit her up on Instagram to do maybe a Zoom one. But I like to do them, in person.
Person. It's don't get me wrong, I like it in person too. And I know
Mhm.
she prefers in-person interviews as well.
Yeah.
Uh because it's just a one-on-one. Like here is Zoom, it's cool. It's fun, but you don't feel like the excitement from the
Mhm.
person when they're talking about a favorite role or favorite scene or favorite movie.
Yep, yep. Plus, also, as an interviewer, I like to feed off of their energy. Like if you can tell when
Right.
somebody's into it and somebody's just going through the motions, and that's vice versa too. That's also for the interviewer also is like they can tell whether you've seen their stuff or you're just blowing
Well,
smoke.
guessing, yeah. Going
Yeah, so it's a give and take. And but it's a cool thing. It started off as like a little event center. Now it's turned into they have a Blockbuster rental thing style thing where you take a movie, you
you
leave a movie, you take a movie. They have a recording studio in there. They're building the world's smallest movie theater, the
mini
Minimax,
Minimax.
uh, which both Stacy and myself were able to be in a part of a little commercial skit they did, directed by Lachlan Monroe
Yes, and Felissa.
and Felissa. Which was the second event we went to. Uh, we got to go see the always amazing Felissa Rose. Um, Anytime, I get a chance to see her, I try to go. This last time wasn't able to. Um, but
Holidays kind of creeped up.
yeah, that and I was a little under the weather myself, so I missed out on that. I needed to go because I need her to sign my Victor Crowley poster.
Yes, and
Oh,
it was uh my brother's birthday as well on the 3rd.
oh, that's right, that's right. Um, but yeah, the last one we did was the it was the a mini what was it, the Minimax fundraiser
Yes,
where
the Minimax fundraiser.
Lachlan Monroe and Felissa Rose are both partners with Mike, the owner, and with the Minimax. So they were doing a fundraising event for, to bring it to life. And it was awesome to meet Lachlan Monroe. I had never met him. Uh,
He
you
was
know,
so earth. It was so awesome.
so cool. As a huge Friday the 13th fan, he plays one of the officers in Freddy versus Jason. So being able to talk that with him, and I mean, he's done so many roles. Uh, Scary Movie, White Chicks, you name it. He's been in so much.
Yes, and see, uh, when I sent to Lyra, my daughter, the photo, she's like, "Oh my God, I hate you," and I'm like, "Why?" Because I couldn't think of it. He's in Riverdale,
Yeah, I
so
didn't know that either.
he's Betty's dad. And it totally slipped my mind because I thought like a White Chicks, I thought a Scary Movie, I thought
Mhm.
everything else except that. I could not. And I remember I was telling you, he's in something else I've seen. I just don't know what it is. And I didn't look at the table at his photos to see
Mhm.
what he played in because that's usually what I do. And when I'm filming, but since y'all filmed in front of the table,
Ah,
I
I
didn't
missed out.
look this time.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So it was, and then getting to see him, or got to hear him because we were sitting in the theater, but hear him direct that little mini skit, little commercial. Um, it was cool. He had it locked in, and
Yes.
then you got Felissa there. Always a blast to sit and talk with Felissa. Um, yeah. So again, you're in the area, go check out, My Weekend World Events and the Minimax Theater. They're rolling movies. They just opened up where you can rent it for a couple of hours for birthday parties and stuff like that. I have my eye on that. I'm still seeing how things play out, but um that'd be cool. Pop in one of my favorite horror films and, little birthday party type
Yep.
deal. Which is cool. But yeah, yeah, go and support, check it out. They've got shop in there also. You can buy collectibles, you can buy a bunch of stuff. It's
Yeah, it's different vendors, but it's like a little store.
mhm,
They have tagged for each different vendor. And then of course downstairs is where they have the Blockbuster and also the
the
other little
theater,
things like yeah, the theater and the studio and their store of Melly.
memorabilia.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna butcher the word.
I can't speak it today.
I cannot speak it today. I cannot.
Yes. It's been a long day for me. That's why I'm like, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's cool. Uh, and then yeah, I'm trying to think if we didn't miss anything else before we get into the final two big shows.
No, 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 I think that's it that I
Uh,
could think of.
uh the Kings of Horror Expo.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, right? Convention Expo. No,
Yeah, I think
Kings
I
of
know it's
Horror Convention.
Kings of Horror.
I gotta tell you, we've been putting off this episode. It's life and whatnot, and she Stacy messaged, hey, when we're gonna do it? I was like, well, let's do it tonight, and should have better prepared, but
Hold on. It is. Yeah, it's Kings of Horror
convention, right?
convention. Yeah, convention. I just looked it up.
That was a fun one. I really enjoyed that one. Um, it was a smaller venue for them. What I heard from both Angel and Irene. Uh,
Yes.
it was
I heard about
very intimate, which is something that I personally enjoy when you're at a con. You know, to be able to have that one-on-one experience with whoever you're meeting, and this one, he had the cast of the Blair Witch Project,
it.
uh,
Yes.
Heather Donahue, and a couple other ones. Uh, you know, Katie Sarife, amazing interview. Totally down to earth. Uh, One of my favorite interviews of the year was with her. Um, Kristen Serratos was there from The Walking Dead. Unfortunately, she wasn't doing interviews. Um, as well as John Kassir, the Crypt Keeper, as well as Samara Lee, from Annabelle Creation.
Mhm.
Uh, who else we had? We had Kane Hodder.
Yeah, with Kane Hodder.
Kane
Um,
Hodder, the man. We also had the other one of the, like, I'm looking at it again, and there's so many posts. It was great to see Deborah Foreman again,
yes.
which was cool because she also totally
Remember.
remembered, yeah, uh, meeting her back in 2017. Uh, yeah, there's so many great stories from that weekend, of which was Rockula back in 2017. Uh, and I won't go into detail of the story and whatnot, but uh, yeah, she was the main character in one of the stories, and she kind of got lost, not lost, but she kind of
Somebody wasn't paying attention, and she said,
yeah.
"It's the
Yeah,
best way."
and she was hanging out with the other celebs, and somebody that was supposed to be watching her totally uh
Not.
was not, type deal. So we're like trying to find her, just to make sure she was okay, which she was. She totally was. She was there with all the other guests and whatnot. Um, yeah, that was a fun weekend. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Heather Mazzarato was there also. Let me see. Oh, Ross. I'm not gonna say his last name. Aaron from The Walking Dead. I'm gonna butcher it.
Yeah, I'm gonna butcher that.
Yeah, he was he. Every time I've seen him at an event, the guy has a nonstop line. Uh, and I now I know why he's sitting and talking with them. He is so engaging with the fans. Um, as soon as we sat down, he's like, dude, I love the name Midnight Movie Trash. He's like, are you into like trash cinema? I was like, yeah. He's like, have you seen the Miami Connection? And bringing up all these films, and so even before the interview started, we're talking trash cinema, which was awesome to be able to just to talk film with somebody that enjoys the same style of I don't want to say shitty films, but B movie, trash cinema.
BNC movie, yeah.
Yeah. Um, it was great talking with him. I know he was limited on some of the Marvel stuff and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I talked Walking Dead with them. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. Um, Also meeting Lisa Wilcock for the first time. Hey, hola, hola,
Hi. Hi, broadcast.
hola.
Okay. Bye,
Bye
broadcast.
bye.
Wait. Sorry about that. My daughter and granddaughter wanted to
That's my
wanted to
my.
come see me, but yeah, it's okay.
Uh, that's the social media manager.
Yeah.
Um,
She's been
but
on a little vacation because holidays crept up on us.
yeah. But yeah, like I said, Katie's was one of my favorite interviews, as well as Samara's. I didn't know what was going on because I couldn't see, but she has an Annabelle doll that's fully, she's got animatronics to it or some shit, where she can make the head move, the eyes, and the mom was controlling it during the interview, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I knew something was going on, but I was doing the interview. So looking back at it, I mean, it's cool just to see we're talking and Annabelle's just like moving her head and whatnot. But I must,
Yes.
I must say, uh, and then also Kevin, Spiritus. I know I'm butchering his last name. Yeah, he was from the New Blood with Kane Hodder,
Oh
Friday the
yes.
13th. Uh,
Oh, that was no that one. was fun. That
Yeah,
was a fun interview.
that was a fun interview, and I guess he's kind of a germaphobe. And when Kane threw his dirty Kleenex at him, he was like, "Huh?"
Oh,
He uses the mic
to
holder
push it
to
to
push it down and
and then
whatnot.
he even had me turn the camera to show who threw it. And of course I did. I did.
Yep.
I don't hopefully it was good quality because I tried.
But you know that's Kane for you, man. Kane is like super prankster, jokester,
Oh,
and go.
yeah. Let's skip real quick to Kane's interview. It's funny because right before you interviewed, you told me that Kane had said he farted around that little kid.
Yes, the little kid was running around behind him and all this stuff, and he just totally crop dusted the little dude and whatnot. So yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, even before that interview, um, that just waiting for the interview, because Kane is Kane. He's gonna have a line, and when Kane tells you to come back the next day for the interview,
You come back.
you go back the next day, and just sitting there, and then interacting with interacting with me as well as people he's getting signed, and his impromptu Spanish lesson was fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, I wish I was recording that. But of course,
Yeah,
he said no recording. Of course, I'm going to respect it. But man, that was so good.
yeah, we're learning Spanish bad words with Kane, which he speaks very well Spanish.
Yeah, he does.
And he goes, well, my best friend as growing up was Mexican, and he spoke Spanish. So I know Spanish, and he just started laying into all these Spanish cuss words, and then we're teaching him new ones, and trying
Yes.
to figure out
'Cause he was talking with David.
David, yeah, David, which is Attack the David, which he gave me a huge insight. He's like, introduce him as Kane fucking Hodder.
Fucking-
He's like, believe me, he'll like it. And Kane was like, oh, well, thank you for that introduction. You know,
Yeah,
but
thank you for my
my
amazing middle name or something.
yeah, so that was that that was for me as a as a huge Friday the 13th fan to be able to not only just interview him but to sit and talk with him and shoot the shit,
I was about to say shoot the shit. I was
talk
like, what's the
talk
word? Here's some.
bourbon, talk bourbon, talk whiskey, talk Happy Van Winkle. If you're a bourbon guy, you know what that is. Talking, you know, with this icon. I know I've heard interviews where he doesn't like being called a legend or icon or whatnot, but you know, he is in the horror, world. He's a horror icon. Um, that was one of the best memory moments of the year. That whole interaction, that whole Sunday uh waiting there, by his table, people just kept
I got
coming.
more candy.
Yeah. So yeah. Damn, we're gonna wind up doing a third episode. Shit. Uh
Shit. How much time do we have? Because I don't see it on my end.
10.
Oh no, we should be able to. Oh no, shit. We have one more event to talk about.
Yeah, and that's a big
Yeah,
one
we're
too.
gonna have to do it three.
Um, yeah, what you call it? Yeah, being able to have a drink with him, you know, uh, like you said, just not on camera. I'm like, oh yeah, 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 it's off. When Kane puts a shot in front of you, Stacy, you're like, I don't drink whiskey, but I'm drinking whiskey right now. Type
Yep.
deal. You don't tell the man no.
And
You
nope.
know,
He's like, you're getting one. I was like, I don't drink it, but you told me I'm gonna do it.
yeah. So being able to sit there and have a shot of bourbon with him, and shoot
From
the
his
shit.
collection, from what
Yeah,
he had.
from his bottle. You
Yes.
know, uh,
I don't say no.
yeah. It's and I gifted him some bourbon and whatnot. Oh, but shit, that interview was set up by Felissa Rose.
Oh yes.
You know that,
From my weekend world event.
yep.
We had that Felissa first. And
Hmm.
Felissa's like, hey, and then you let her know, hey, I'm gonna see Kay next weekend. What should I ask him?
Hmm.
And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna take a selfie right now and I'm gonna send to him right now. So that's what she
Yep.
did. She took a photo with you and she's like, you have to have an interview with him. I
Yeah.
said it, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, because she goes, "Are you going to interview him?" I go, "Well," I go, if he's gracious enough to give me an interview, yes." She's like, "Oh, he's going to give you an interview," and she goes, "Come on, let's take a selfie." And she pulled up her phone and went through her contacts and Kane. She's like, "Look, see here, right here." Huh, and then so when I got my Victor Crowley poster signed, I was like, "Hey, by chance did Felissa Rose send you a selfie of herself and me? When? Last week?" I think she did. He goes, "That was you?" I was like, "Yep." He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Come tomorrow." He was like, "We'll definitely sit and talk tomorrow." I was like, "All
Yeah.
right." So yeah, so huge thank you to Felissa Rose. But like my brother brought it up. He's like, you can't pay for that kind of nod or that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? End with end with a for an interview, like
Yeah.
she you know not everybody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna set you up like that. But that's just how cool Felicia is, and know knowing her for quite a few years and interacting with her, she
Especially because of my story.
yeah, yeah, you
That
know
helped.
it was a that right there was one of like the biggest oh shit moment of 2025 for me. Like, did that just happen? Like,
Yes.
and then for Kane to acknowledge it, he's like, yeah, yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's you. That was you. You know, uh, I was just, one of the highlights, you know, top moment of the year for me. Uh, Kane is just one of those. He's a guy's guy. Um, if you've interacted with them, you'll learn that real quickly. Uh,
Yeah.
he's old school, you know, totally down to earth.
That's right, because not 2025, but 2024, when I took my photo with Felissa in Houston,
Mhm.
Kay was photobombing me. I thought
Yeah,
it was freaking awesome.
yeah, he's like that. He'll just go and like just like what he did with the interview with Kevin. He just started messing with Kevin during the interview
Yep.
and whatnot. And it's I have no issue with that. Any interaction I can get with the man, I'm down.
Or any of the celebrities.
Yeah, yeah. It's and I know you brought it up a couple of times. The interaction once you get to know them and you start building a rapport with them, and they know you know uh that you're not gonna do something stupid or
Yeah, because you're treating them like a human. You're not treating them like they're a god. Because in all reality, they're not. Yes, they're an idol, but they're not a god. You're just treating them like a normal human being. Is how like 99% of the people, of the actors and actresses, want to be treated. They
yeah,
want to be treated like they're a person. I was like, they want to hear your stories. Like Felissa, when I first met her, she wanted to rehear the story of how the hell you
hmm,
traumatized me.
yep, yep. And it's cool to now have that rapport with some of these actors.
Yeah.
uh which is, I'm not gonna lie, it to me it's still mind blowing and unreal. Like, never in a million years, just a few people, like one back in Houston a few years ago. Never did I ever thought I would be interviewing Marcy Darcy. uh, Amanda Bears from Married with Children. Let alone sitting and talking with Kane. Um, Felissa. So many. It's just like never did I ever thought this was where things would lead in a way. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's something that I don't take for granted because you know nothing's a given. It's you're always up to their mercy, whether they want to or if they can, because that's something we experienced a lot this year. Contracts, not non-disclosure, not non-disclosure, but like basically gag orders where they can't do any
They
kind
can't get anything. They can talk to you at the table off camera,
of. Mhm.
ask them anything you want, but anything you want to ask them on camera, they're like, "I'm sorry, I can't."
Yeah,
We experienced that in big techs. Um, where else did we experience that?
the
Not
Holiday Expo.
Yeah, Holiday Expo. We experienced that. Um, Goosebumps. We didn't. There's a few other ones
Even Houston, I've experienced it in the past.
yeah, in the past you did. I don't think you did this year. Well,
No,
technically last year, but yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, but majority of the time we
Oh,
were able
San
to.
Antonio Fear Fest, the next one we're going to talk about. We had a couple of them that were on basically gag orders where they couldn't do any kind of media or press for
Oh,
any
that's right. I think
project.
there was two or three. I know there's a couple of them.
Yeah, the mask maker from because of WWE, since he did the Fiend and Jason something, I forgot his name, and then Shannon, the guy from The Conjuring, he's on a new show that's about to come out, and he was like under a no media gag
Yeah,
type deal, which is totally fine. I totally understand that. That's why you always go and you ask and you talk. Um,
with their manager, handler, whoever is there.
yep, because I mean that's just a part of the game. Then like some of them on shows, they can't talk about it because of spoilers.
Yeah.
So, but
Luckily, luckily we were able to get a few good ones though this year.
oh yeah, yeah, we got some really good ones, man. And the final big one of the year was San Antonio Fear Fest, um, which we're gonna cover in the next part because
Part three.
yeah, because I do the free Zoom. I need to upgrade what I need to do. Um, but
Or
yeah.
I just need to go over there and do it in person, record
Yeah,
it.
that's the goal is to have once we redo the man cave,
We'll
have
finish
a
it. I know I have to let Alira know once I'm done with this part of
yeah.
part two
All right, so we're less than a minute
or part three.
for part
It
three. It's been a long year. It's been a long year.
was a good
Uh,
year.
it was a good year. It was a great year. Um, I can't complain. Uh, and the final like major event was Retro City's uh inaugural like major event, San Antonio Fear Fest,
First
uh,
year.
first year. It was a great event. Um, you know, yes, it had hit some hiccups, but every first year does. Every event has hiccups. Um, you know,
Especially if they've never done a huge con.
that big, yeah. And
Yeah,
to do it at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center.
is amazing.
That's a big thing. That's even if it's only a part of the convention, because that convention center is huge. That's still that's a feat of strength. So like I said, huge congratulations and job well done to Joelle, to Wendy, Flavio, the girls, everybody, involved in putting on that show. They did an outstanding job for their first year um event, and they had some great guests. It was a all around horror wrestling
Live performances,
Like
music.
you name it, they had it. There was something for everybody. Um, you know, the live wrestling was something else. Uh, to hear the wrestlers taking their bumps in the ring, echoed through the entire place. Um, you know, the Five Nights at Freddy's performance.
That
That
was
was
good.
Yeah, that was cool as hell. I missed the first one. I caught it at the tail end. Um, but being able to see the what was it, the second day?
Yeah, second day.
Sunday? Seeing
Yeah.
it on Sunday, the Michael Jackson performer was dude, he was great.
I
Uh
think he was on Friday.
Saturday.
Yeah, yeah, Saturday. That's what I meant.
Yeah, Saturday. Um
But yeah, he was great too.
yeah, he was good. Even the um Sarah the G.
Yeah,
I only got to see her warm up because I had to go do interview with Scott Enos,
yeah.
Shaggy, Scooby. Um,
DVD.
you know, she's gonna go places. She's a great performer.
And she's
Uh,
local.
and she's local. Yeah, and that was cool that Joa opened up, the opportunity to local talent to showcase themselves, adding more, value to the ticket. You know, um, his guest lineup was great. Theo
Especially for
Barones
the first year.
for the first year, yeah. And then some rare ones too, like Melinda Clark, from Return of the Living Dead 3.
Three.
Uh, she was amazing. She was such a great interview. To hear the insight of her bringing the character Julie to life, what she went through, that because that's a very revealing character throughout that whole movie. Uh, it was you know, it was cool to hear, the process, what she went through, as well as Alan Troutman from most of the Return of the Living Dead series.
Yeah,
Uh,
because he was the tar man.
Tarman, yeah, he was another great interview too. It was cool that he was like, "It's too noisy in here. Let's go somewhere more quiet and do this." Um, so we did it outside the convention center, and talking with him was, I mean, he's another iconic horror staple, that zombie, the Tar Man, as well as and I keep Bub from Day of the Dead.
Oh yes.
Uh his name I'm drawing a blank.
I know who you're talking about. Let me
Yeah.
uh let me go to Facebook. I was like, let me go to Facebook. Uh
Yeah, he's another iconic zombie, uh and as Bub, that character is memorable in Day of the Dead. I think it was Walt something. Or Walter.
let me see, let me see.
No, it was a Sherman Howard.
Yes, there you go. Sherman Howard.
Sherman Howard, yeah.
I just saw it too. Uh yeah, his was the Day of the Dead.
Yeah. George Romero's.
Mhm.
Meeting and talking with Gangrel, WWE wrestler, back in when I was, you know, not necessarily a kid, but back when, I was watching it in the late 90s, you know, the Brood, being able to talk with him and I'm like I said, I'm not a wrestling content creator to talk about it. I talked his film work. He's been in multiple films, Tom Devlin's was it After Dark?
I think it was after Derek.
Uh, was written specifically for him. And it was cool to talk with him about that whole experience for him. And that's another thing, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, watching, him in the ring, like, when the hell did I ever think that I was gonna sit, stand next to him and talk with him, interview him. Uh, you know, Theo and I his Devin from
The
the
Chucky
Chucky
series.
series. His I'm
I
gonna
love his name. I
his
love
name
his
is
name.
so fucking badass. It's
It
just
is.
I can't say it, and I don't want to disrespect him by butchering his
Yeah.
name.
And I love new unique names like that. And I was like, but I know who you were talking about.
You know, and you know he's in college studying film and stuff like that. So, you know, I am definitely looking forward to seeing what both him and Theo are gonna do, because they're both so young. What was
Yes.
that? Um, you know, for that first year event to have, you know, a lineup like that, you know, that speaks a lot. You know, Joel, you know, the whole team been knocking it out the entire year, you know, with the Retro City events at the mall. Um, you know, it was it was fun to be a part of that. Um,
Yeah.
you know, Edward Furlong and Danny Cooksey from Terminator 2.
Yeah.
You know, it was great to see Edward again. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, he was cool enough to give me another interview. Um, you know, huge thanks to Joe Lozano for setting that up. Um, you know, Danny too, you know, his counterpart, you know, his friend in Terminator 2, you know, he's a kid that, you know, doesn't narc on his buddy.
Nope.
You know, and like I told him, I go, dude, it was you know, who would have thought in a million years that that would become like one of the biggest memes in, you know, you know, troll history type deal. Um, you know, Lou Temple. This was my first time meeting Lou. Such a cool guy, man. So down to earth.
From The Walking Dead.
Yeah. You know, that was the first interview I got that weekend, and you know, it started off with a great one. Um, such a class act dude, man. Just, you know, so down to earth, man. You know, I like how he adds his little jokes and stuff like that. You know, he's like, you like Johnny Depp? He's like, yep, yeah, he's pretty good. Like he's pretty good. You know, just his way of interviewing and interacting, he was just so cool. Um, Sterling Jurgens from the Conjuring series. That was she was a cool interview. It was a short one. I know she couldn't talk about certain things, but you know, it
It
was
was,
cool.
yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah,
Um, the one I liked, I think was it Billy?
Billy Blair, yeah.
Billy.
Yeah, Billy's always great to talk to. You know, it was great to catch up with him again. We saw him that same year at Houston.
Yep.
Yeah,
You remembered. That's another one. So
yeah, yeah, that was cool because when we were setting it up or yeah,
setting,
um,
I was
setting
setting.
up the we're setting up the interview right with him when he was like, "Oh yeah,
Yes.
I know you,"
Yep.
and he was like, "We met at Cult Classic." I was like, "No, actually, it was MonsterCon in San Antonio," and then he was like, "Oh shit, yeah, oh dude, it's been a minute," you know. So it was cool that you know he remembered, and you know I know he was pretty spent that first day, and you know I was like, dude, we can do it tomorrow if you want. You know,
And
I
he
don't
was
want to.
so grateful.
Yeah, you know, it was you know, I never want to force anybody to do something, you know, especially when they're exhausted. You know, it it takes a lot. You know,
I
you're sitting
said it
there.
was 18-hour thing. I think is he flight and everything.
Hmm.
They had been up, I think, like 24 to 48 hours or something like that. I remember him saying.
Yeah,
But he was so down to do the interview if he wasn't so tired on Saturday. That's what we did it on Sunday.
yeah. You know, it's a yeah, you know, they're human, you know, and you know, I'm not one to sit there and like demand an interview like, well, no, you need to do it now. Like, hell no, man. You know, uh you get a better interview that way. You know, that the interview on Sunday was great.
Yeah.
you know. And he's in so many films, horror, non-horror. He's just always all over the place. And the first thing I ever saw him in was Machete,
Yeah.
the first one. He's the guy that pukes every time what's his name? Don Johnson kills somebody.
Yeah, I remember
He's like, you gotta
that.
start getting a stomach for this. Uh yeah, it was another one of those events that, left memorable so many memorable moments. Even talking with it's
Gabriel. Gabriel from the classic.
oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. Huge shout out to Gabriel and the San Antonio Nerd Coalition.
Yeah.
Uh, sitting there and basically just shooting the shit with them. You know, he's a fan just like I am. It all starts with your fandom, with being fans. If you're not a fan of what you do, you're basically you, you're doing a disservice, to the interviews and stuff like that. It's you can pull them off, but like I said, they can tell. I've been told. Uh, you know, uh, CJ Graham was one that years back. I wind up seeing him in Houston and the following weekend in San Antonio. And when I talked to him in San Antonio, he was like, I could tell you're a fan. He's like, you knew specific things in the movie, specific stuff. He's like, we can always tell when, people are just trying to get an interview for an interview type deal. He's like, which I get, I understand that, but, when you connect with somebody that knows what they're talking about as far as your work, he's like, we can tell and we appreciate that. So that was it was a huge compliment from him, being able to talk with him that following weekend off camera. Um, so yeah, it's one of those things, it's like wow, did that just happen? Also too, the cosplay too. I didn't get to interview a lot of the cosplayers. The only one I think I did was Sir Nick Justice.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I did that weekend.
yeah, and he had a killer Predators cosplay that weekend.
That he just introduced.
So,
Because I think that's what Joel had said. He had just introduced it that weekend.
yeah, it's always good to talk to Sir Nick Justice. Um, but yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts on San Antonio Fear Fest?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing the different things, especially because Alera and her husband and then the baby were able to enjoy the Five Nights at Freddy's. My son-in-law got a few things that he was able to find that he thought was pretty awesome. So all in all, for being for the first year, it was good. It was really. I wasn't expecting a lot because it's the first year, so I didn't want to put my hopes up as high as Houston because Houston's done it for years. But I did put my hopes up a good amount, and they over exceeded that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Um, it's gonna be a like anything. The more reps you get in it, the
Mhm.
more it becomes not easier, but you because
It's more
doing
it's able to handle it.
yeah, because doing these events at that level, is not easy at all. Even the small events aren't easy, you know. Um, but but yeah, I'm looking forward to what Joel does this year, both as far as if he does a big event, and whether he does mall events. I know he's gonna do events. Uh,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to what he's gonna bring. And another one too that I was able to interview, and I kind of I feel like I should have asked more questions. Was with Gary Holt, the guitar player for Exodus and Slayer.
Oh, okay.
Um, it's it was I wasn't really prepared for it, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity. Um, and I asked some basic questions and whatnot, but um, I should have really dove more into Exodus and his work with Slayer
Yeah.
to pinpoint stuff. He's an amazing guitarist. I know that right off the bat. Um, you know, but it was cool. It was an honor to talk with him. Um,
And what we're forgetting is that they had a film fest as well.
yeah, yeah. And that was a collab between Cynthia Bergen again and the Women's Horrific Film Fest and
The San
San
Antonio.
Antonio,
Yep, Fear Fest. So
which was great. We got to see William Instone's I guess kind of proof of concept type trailer for Goldilocks.
cannot wait for that.
That's gonna be
And
another
you know
good
what's
one.
funny? I think we forgot because I don't think I ever got an email.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know they were. He had said that they were gonna go based off of they needed young, and he wanted more female driven. So I wasn't expecting an email for that one,
I didn't
but
see one for me earlier. I don't know. Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't.
for the filming.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, his next film, Goldilocks, it's gonna be another great one. Butcher's Bluff, is
and then you got a copy of what is that movie? Not Nexus. It's kind of like pornish.
oh
I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. I still haven't gotten the screener for it from him. I sent him the email, but uh, it's for the passes of Nexus.
There you go. I was about to say no. It's
Yeah,
Nexus.
and that's one of the next interviews coming out is a lot of the film fest stuff. Like I said, still backlogged. Um, but talking with the directors and actors from passes of Nexus. Um, was cool. And, 'cause, we hang out and party at Houston, and I didn't know they were working on a film and
I didn't.
whatnot. So it was cool to see him and I think it's his wife um
Believe so.
uh out there. I was like, hey, what's up? And then when I found out that they have a film, and I was like, holy shit, man, that's badass. You know, also, you know, uh, uh, what you call it? Um,
The two guys from Pitts. Is it Pittsburgh?
yeah, the Scissor Man.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great little short. Talking with Will and I think is it Marty or Matthew? Matthew.
I think it's.
Uh, yeah, I think it's Matthew. He played the Scissor Man.
Yeah.
Uh, Hearing that they did guerrilla filmmaking at its finest. They went and bought a TV at a high def TV at Target, used it as a backdrop to get different backdrop
Angles.
scenes,
Yeah.
and then they finished up, packed it back up, and returned it. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. They I think that they bought. I think it was like a 75 inch. They bought a huge
They
one.
bought a big one, yeah. Um, yeah. So, I mean, overall, it was a fun weekend. Um, I missed the after party, which kind of sucked, but it was family duty. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah. Let's see. What was your like most memorable moments? Because we're back down to 10 minutes.
um, the Crow tribute. Sorry, I have to go back to that one. The only thing is, I love Houston. I love the San Antonio
Mhm.
Fair Fest. I loved all the cons, but to me, that stuck out the most because they are unicorns. Is the the Crow tribute.
Any as far as being behind the camera, any interview that stuck with you or stood out?
Uh since I am behind the camera, I have to think. I was like, 'cause I wasn't behind the camera in Houston. I was I was the runner. But I would say, oh wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah, there was a lot of good
There's
ones this
a
year.
lot of good ones, but that is a tough one to say. But if I have to narrow it down, I would say Canes. I would say
Yep.
Canes because the before the interview and even the after the interview, I would have to say,
Well, that's the thing that I'm pretty sure you're starting to see is either most likely it's usually after the interview when it's the camera's off and you're just basically shooting the shit with them. It's when like the greatest conversations come out,
yeah,
and you're like, holy shit, that would have been great to got on camera, but it wouldn't have came out that way because the camera just changes everything.
yes,
Uh, yeah, mine, Kane, that whole week, that whole interaction was one of my favorite things of the year. Uh, Talking with Caroline and Bill and well, both Bills, uh,
yeah,
it was unreal. Uh, you know, but one of the interview that I two interviews that I didn't think were going to be possible was Dana DeLorenzo and David Andrew Divoff.
oh,
Rest in
okay,
peace. Yeah, I did not expect to get those, and those were two of the most memorable ones from Big Tex Terror. Um, yeah, it's there was so many great interviews. You know, uh, uh, I gotta thank Tony, uh, Scott, Justin, Troy from Houston, uh, Joelle, Wendy, everybody at Retro City, Cynthia Bergen, um, as well as Angel and Irene from Kings of Horror,
yeah,
Monster
and
Con,
Monster Con and Big Tex Terra
Big Tex Terror,
and Big Tex as well.
Big,
Because I just remember we went to Big Tex as well.
yeah,
But
it,
there's so many that I, it was just
you
a
know,
good.
and Big Tex, we did get a lot of that they were under media, no media type deal, which is totally fine. But I got to say, talking with Thunder Rosa, you
That
know,
interview
that
was freaking like, mwah.
she was such a sweetheart, totally cool, down to earth, and like I said, like I'm not a wrestling guy, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I am. So I told her, I was like, look, I'm a big wrestling fan, but I'm not a content creator for that. I like, you know, I go, are you okay talking? Because she's got a big presence in YouTube and Patreon and all that stuff. I go, you want to talk that? Is it okay to talk that? She's like, hell yeah. So, it was great to talk that with her and, hear, how long it took her to hit 100,000. What did she say, 7 years, something like that? They hit a
Yeah,
thousand,
7 years.
100,000? And I was like,
Yes,
wow, but yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anybody as far as
I know we did Cernic Justice again there,
mhm,
and we did talk to, was it Scorpion or Sub Zero?
Sub-Zero.
Okay, I always forget which one. And I think that's kind of
Yeah.
it.
It was, oh, and then I got
Oh yeah,
interviewed.
You got
Yeah.
interviewed
And,
Valley Radio.
yeah, and then I interviewed uh I'm trying to black on her name too. I don't want to butcher her name. Um, what you call it, but uh, you know, uh, and also huge thanks to you, Stacy, to Alara, to Frankie Z Photography. Larry, Lara, did I say
Yeah,
Lara?
you said it. You said
Uh, JP, everybody that behind the scenes, makes the shenanigans happen. A huge thank you to all y'all. Uh, it's we're already in 2026, so it's gonna be interesting to see what shenanigans we get into this year. Yeah, also thank you to Skara and Corey,
oh
you know,
yeah.
for having us out there at the movie night and whatnot. Um, it's cool. It's Skara's. We became Instagram friends around the same time we both kind of started Midnight. I started Midnight Movie Trash, and she started the Scara character, and she
Yeah.
brought that up.
I
Was it
think it's
last?
7 years. I think that's what I saw the other day.
Yeah, because she brought it up during her private screening of her film. She's like, it's cool that we both met each other when we first started, and we're still supporting each other, and uh, she was like thanking me for going out. I was like, no, thank you for having us out here. It was and that film's great. Um, I need to get it once it,
Danzo of the Doom.
yeah,
Oh,
once
I didn't butcher it.
yeah, once physical copies come out, I gotta get that one. I got the Black Quarry on Blu-ray,
Oh, nice.
but yeah, it was an amazing year, and huge thanks to all the followers and people who have liked, subscribed, watched the videos, left comments. Huge thank you for putting up with our shenanigans, and uh, you know, it means a lot. The channel's grown. All platforms have grown this past year, and yeah, you know, as we wind down again, 2 minutes, oh, minute and a half, chingo. Yeah, it was one hell of a year, and
Can't wait for our next adventures this year because
yep,
it's gonna be crazy, guys. Like I always say, if you have not gone to any of these cons that we've mentioned, you need to go because you are missing out.
yep. And that brings up what I've said, and huge shout out to Jerry. He's the one that taught me this. Because if you don't go out to these events, you're not going to make memories. And when I didn't understand what that meant till I started doing these events, and he was 100% on the money with that. So go out, whether it doesn't have to be horror, whether it's anime, pop culture, Comic Con, comic books. Go out and do these events. With that being said, I'm Daniel with Midnight Movie Trash.
Stacy Dimple's Adventures.
See ya.
Bye.